this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
So just a quick disclaimer in regards to this video. I'm not saying this guy was a Nazi war criminal, but I'm just stating the obvious. Have people do they all need a refresher in history, including the Speaker of the House in Canada? You do remember that Germany was fighting Russia, so therefore this guy was on the wrong side in World War II. Canada was fighting Germany, so therefore this guy was basically on the side that was fighting against Canada and the rest of the Allies. How the fuck are we just becoming so oblivious and so forgetful? How did this get past any of the people in the Canadian Parliament? What the fuck?
Catherine just brought something up.
I'm on the guest list.
Did we talk about the Canadian Parliament applauding a real-life Nazi?
We were going to.
Yeah, I put that on the list too, didn't I?
Are we getting
There's a real-life Nazi that...
it's on the list.
Yeah, I put it on the list of things to talk about. Yeah, well, I'm at a loss how the Speaker of the House basically got a war hero, so he thought, from Ukraine, and they applauded him in the Canadian Parliament, and then they later found out that he was from the Waffen SS, which translated is the Armed Weapons SS, which is a German group. So they were part of the Nazis. Yeah. So it's like...
What was he talking about?
Well, he wasn't talking about anything. They just wanted to applaud a guy who fought the Russians in World War II.
Oh, my God. They are so fucked. Like, that is so bad. Like, they're like...
man?
You're the enemy of my enemy is my ally.
Yeah.
Like,
then,
you know what I mean? That's so just how they work.
These guys are in power. This guy is the Speaker of the House. And then he's inviting the guys that they fought against
we fought all
in World War II.
The Russians, and we won. We had a big cook-up with the people. We put them in the ovens. It was lovely.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, we got it wrong. But I'm like, how can you get that wrong? It's the Waffen SS, so it's obviously German. Waffen. So, yeah, I don't know how you can get it wrong.
Oh, man, that's a big... I hope someone was fired over that. Can I just also say how Catherine had to put the asterisk in the Nazi word? And you do, because if she didn't, that would have got her a warning or shut down on Facebook. If everybody started writing that, it would get us shut down. It's crazy that you can't even say the word, yet these people can pull someone up in Parliament and all clap about how they did something to the Russians. It's like, do you really hate the Russians that much that you're going to ignore what happened? This guy wasn't just from a family. You're saying that he was actually one of them. He did the thing.
Yes, it's him. Watch this. I've got it up.
What is wrong with people?
Here we go. Yep.
Wow.
Catherine, you're an absolute champion.
Yeah, thanks for that. She knows our list and we don't.
She's up to 120 days on the next ban. Bull cooker.
Who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98.
Invited by House Speaker Anthony Rota to witness Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's address to Parliament, Yaroslav Hunka is one of his constituents.
He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for all his service.
That was the jubilant scene Friday. Now new details have emerged about that war service MPs applauded. Hunka served in the 1st Galician Division, a voluntary unit commanded by the Nazis.
The unit is
Voluntary.
complicit in the Holocaust.
This Jewish human rights campaigner says there's no defending former soldiers like Hunka.
You swore allegiance to Hitler, and you were involved with the massacre of civilians. So it doesn't matter if you try and claim that you were defending against communism. You were still involved with the Nazi war machine.
The division's history is murky. Its volunteers united by a desire to take on the Soviet Union, says this academic.
For them, the ultimate evil was Moscow occupation.
Rhoda has now apologized and says he regrets ever inviting him. I recognize an individual in the gallery. I have subsequently become aware of more information which causes me to regret my decision to do so, he says in a statement. I accept full responsibility for my actions. Still, the opposition is asking how this could happen. The Prime Minister's office says it wasn't aware the speaker had invited Hunka.
I snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
That's a good one. Eh? What's that from? That's so good.
Here's the fucking obvious what the fuck, yeah? We all know in World War II, the Russians were on our side. You know, and the Cold War came later. So this Canadian Speaker of the House has invited them, this guy, and painted him out to be a war hero. So does he not know any history at all? Because he's going, they were fighting the Russians. Yeah, the Germans were fighting the Russians. The Germans were fighting the Americans. They were fighting the Aussies. And it's like, you're not. Yeah. How are you forgetting that in World War II the Russians were on the Canadian side, and then he applauds him? You know, it's like
someone who did not do their homework.
He did not fact check.
But you have to do.
That's Facebook's fact checking. That one. Yeah. See, we found something. Oh no.
Do you have to do any background checking? Because you should know that if they're fighting the Russians, they would have been on the side of the Nazis, because the Germans were fighting the Russians in World War II. And then he makes him out to be this war hero. It's just
there was
it's topsy-turvy world, man.
Nobody was fighting the Russians except for the Nazis. Like, how did you not click? Has he done? Has he never come home and put on one of those black and white World War II videos and just gone far out? Like I can't talk for everyone, but most men go through a stage in their life where they get stuck into a few World War II docos and smoke meat.
Share, subscribe, like, and if you don't want to, it's not mandated. What the fuck?